Three, two, one. What's going on, everyone? You're watching another episode of Ash on Comics. My name's Ash. Here's Stan the Man, as always, with his big-ass drink. And here is Superman, number 11. Death to the House of L. Yes, death to Bendis' Superman. Oh, wait, when I said what? This is number 11 of Superman. Let this sink in for a second. Number 11. Let us revisit something real quick. Here is 6 issues. This is Bendis' start on Superman. If I don't count Action Comics 1000, which I won't, even though I guess he had a short story in there. 6 issues of Man of Steel. Starts the saga of Rogol Zaar. In 6 issues, it did not get resolved. This miniseries does not really have an ending. I mean, it has an ending, but it's an ending that doesn't resolve anything. It just stops the book. It's like, okay. It really should have been part of the Superman line. This was just an exploit to sell books to customers. I don't like when they do that. So, Superman number 1. Let's go all the way back here. Look at all these Superman books. Picks up where this book leaves off. This is really Superman number 7. Then 8, then 9, then 10, then 11 issues later. We're still dealing with Rogol Zaar. We still don't know who Rogol Zaar is. There's still no resolution. General Zod, in a really cool change of character, decides that his animosity towards Superman and all this stuff needs to be put aside for a different cause. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, sort of thing. And I was like, that is way cool. I like what you're doing with Rogol Zaar. It's something different. Because being wartime enemies isn't the same as being an evil villain. Anyways, I digress. Then we get, what did I say this was? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Then on the 12th issue, Bendis, in convenient Bendis fashion, drops the story altogether because Superboy, in a subplot somewhere around here, he descends off into space with Lois and his crazy his crazy father, John's crazy grandfather, sends him off into space, even though he doesn't really think he should. Lois then returns an issue or two later. Still, actually, before this even happens. Issue 2 later, around issue 4, and she is hiding from Superman. She doesn't even let Superman know she's back from space. She's meeting up with Lex Luthor, Superman's arch-villain, and wearing a wig, and lives in another city. Superman, of course, being Superman, figures it out, finds her, goes, what the... And that doesn't go, what the hell, bitch? Where's our son? Why are you hiding from me? No, in a true act of awesome comic book writing, he kisses her on the street, no questions asked. So all the world taking photos of Superman kissing Lois, thereby completely exposing his identity. But we don't care. Nothing matters. Bendis has brought the Marvel nothing matters attitude. Meanwhile, that's a subplot running into this comic where nothing's happening with the Rogol Zaar story, which just drops here. I can't even remember when I'm 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So on the 11th issue, 12th issue, we just drop it. We don't. Superman just ends up leaving the Phantom Zone. Lets General Zod to die, even though he came to help him. Superman's like, oh, well, whatever. Here, see ya. In true Superman fashion, and John just appears out of nowhere, and he's 7 years older. That's interesting. And then we get the story of 13, 14, 15. The 16th issue, John is still telling the story of what happened when he was in space, which is a bunch of nonsense. It's just random events. Runs into characters that are dead. He's hating his grandfather at one moment, but thinks his grandfather's cool at the next moment. his grandfather's acting all crazy and being, I don't even know why I brought you out here, when back here his grandfather was convincing both Superman and Lois that the only answer to John's emotional growth and becoming a man is if he goes off with him to learn what it's like to be John L. Stupid. And until we finally get to, what did I say? It was 12, 13, 14, 15, book 16, 16th book in the storyline. 16. Oh my God. 16th book in the storyline. John finally stops telling his damn story. And Superman, in all of his infinite wisdom and super writing, decides, come on, John, we're going to go off into space. And basically, we're going to fight Rogol-Zar together. Because I didn't endanger you enough the first time when I just sent you off alone as a 10-year-old with your crazy grandfather across the galaxy to face who knows what. Now come join me as I face the greatest enemy that Superman has ever faced in his 80 years of comics. Bring the kid along. That's genius. So here we are, 17th issue. 17th issue of this immense storyline. Oh, Phantom Zone yesterday. Oh, gotta go back in time. The story is not all told. Rogol-Zar on the planet, munching on something in a campfire, dead monster. Oof. You are Jor-El's Phantom Zone, General Zod. I am Rogol-Zar. I defeated you in combat, General. I am the destroyer of Krypton. How do we get out of here? Now, this dialogue is cool. They did the same thing in Man of Steel, where all the Rogol-Zar scenes were cool. Like, Rogol-Zar sounded like a menace. I think Bendis maybe needs to write a Rogol-Zar series and just forget everything else, because he doesn't seem to be able to write anything else. And the whole time, he's just lecturing to Zod, lecturing to Zod, lecturing to Zod, more lecturing to Zod. And then we get to now. Remember this scene from the last book? Where the last book ended off, where Superman takes Jonathan into space and comes into a gigantic intergalactic space battle. And here's the credits, by the way, if anyone cares to know who's responsible. The rigors of deep space. I can't hear my son yell out, "Dad, this is nuts. This is not how I left everything." And he's right. My son was teleported back to Earth to me by my father as he was being attacked by Rogol-Zar, the creature that says he destroyed Krypton. This massive 3 alien species attack on my father's ship is new. The writing. Look, I gotta read this. I have no idea what is happening to my father, or because of my father. I don't know who is on what side, and what the conflict is about. I see the Thanagarian Black Order Squad, the winged warrior race of my friends Hawkman and Hawkgirl hail from. Keenkoi, Empress Candela's first command? The leader priestess of the Trililium Collective is here? The Trililium Collective is the largest planet system in the galaxy. My cousin Kara was involved with them, but why are they here? It's like Sweden went to war with my father, but here they are. And those are the Kuns that brings things up a notch. They're intergalactic extremists. These 3 armies in partnership against him? Or is my father just in the middle of a war? It's really hard to tell. I hate interstellar battles. I can't hear inside the ships, even with my super hearing. But from here, it sure looks like my father is in the middle of it. And now my son and I have been here for almost a second as I run all of this in super speed. The other players are just about to notice we're here. My X-ray and telescopic vision isn't as reliable out here, and no sign of Rogol-Zar. And immediately, instead of fleeing with your son, so make sure he's safe so you can... Nope. Just leave your son behind. Flying off. Rogol-Zar zips away. And Rogolzar retreats. He really did not expect me. Okay then, since my son had to grow up a little without me, and I missed out a lot on the chances for some special superhero parenting. So, like Ma Kent says, let's make this into a moment. Oh, zipping around, whoop-de-doo, oh look, oh my gosh, my dad is so amazing, choo choo choo, swoosh swoosh. Oh, what's my son doing out here? I'm a grumpy old man. I'm a grimacing Superman. Yeah, this is so freaking cool. All these parts, of course, are me ad-libbing. There's no actual dialogue. Big 2-page spread of Superman flying through a big convoluted mess of stuff. Let's see if I can teach my son how to shut down a multi-species intergalactic space battle without losing one single life. Okay, so then we get Superman goes to the Danagarian ship, asks him to stop, goes to the Khans, tells them to stop, goes to the Trillium Collective, points, and they, I guess, sit like lapdog. That's what I do with my dog. I point like she sits. Okay, whatever. And then they say, well, you should go ask your dad what's happening. So they go, and goes, hi, Dad, what have you done? So they didn't come to you first? That's interesting. Who? Rogolzar and Druzod. Oh, you guys are in super speed. We have to be, John. We only have a few seconds before... Pause. Okay, isn't the Speed Force... I don't understand this. Maybe Eric Breen, someone... Look, I understand Superman's fast, right? That's the whole thing, because he's Superman, he's fast. My understanding of, just being in super speed, you're not moving, but you're accelerating, you're able to, that's the Speed Force. How is Superman able to be fast without actually being fast? I'm not doing it. Is there a Speed Force and a super speed, and it's Coke and Pepsi, just two different brand names for something that are similar? This seems really dumb to me, okay? And it's unnecessary. They could have just had this dialogue, and after Superman had stopped the fighting, we didn't need this to be in super speed, as you'll see. Just whatever. And then so Jor-El explains that, someone came after him, blah, 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 another attack, blah, blah, blah. It's just I didn't even care. I was falling asleep through this. And then Rogolzar shows up, because Superman realizes, of course, it wasn't a retreat. It was a re-entry. Dun, da, da, da. Eve tricked you because you're an idiot. I wanted a treat. He knew that. John's going to go for it if I don't. So he attacks him. Really? You think John was going to fight Rogolzar? Then you really are a shitty parent. But we already know that. Lois and Clark are the worst parents ever. This is so stupid. So Superman punches Rogolzar. Woo! Rogolzar literally just wiped the floor with Zod. I mean, just didn't even break a sweat. But Superman, who was essentially should be inferior to... How long do you need to get the ship ready to go? John, I sent you back to Earth for a reason. You know what? Bite me, Graham. Oh, Picard facepalm. Why are you telling your grandpa to bite you? Dude, he sent you back for a reason. This is not the Jonathan Kent. Meanwhile, because Superman left his son alone in an intergalactic battle with other supervillains around like General Zod, guess who's vulnerable? And Zod shows up. But no, because Superboy can get one up on General Zod. This must be the worst. You know what, Krypton? You deserve to get blown up, because if this was the leader of your military forces, you're just pathetic. A 10-year-old boy just freaking cold-clocked you. yes, I know he's 17, but honestly, in his mental state, like, he's still be a 10-year-old boy. His body is just whatever. So, boom, crashes into the side of a ship. Oh, damn it, you punched me. No, I'm really mad. Cal, John, can you hear me? As soon as the ship is healed and sealed, I can teleport right out here. Don't get distracted. On my signal, get ready to... And there's John just floating out there vulnerable, and here comes Zod shooting in. And then Superman, no! My son that I left out here with supervillains, and I brought him out to fight because it was a learning lesson because Ma can't remember. Oh no, he's going to get hurt. Yeah, you think? Oh, and then Zod. Or sorry, Rogol Doomsday. Who the fuck cares? This actually would have been a tense moment, like, if the rest of this was done right, because this is part where you're supposed to feel like, oh shit, all the cards, everything's fucked. What are you gonna do? But I'm just, at this point, I'm tuned out because of all the stupidity that Bendis constantly throws in his books that just distract from the good stuff. And now we see Zod over with John, and he's holding him down. He's winding up, he's gonna punch. I rushed out here in panic, no plan. You think? I think this is Bendis speaking to the reader. I rushed this book out here in panic with no plan. I was past my deadline, so I just pooped out something, and I scribbled on the toilet paper a plot, and I mailed it in. What did I think would happen? Not a good book. My father's lies and half-truths are suffocating me. Bitch, you just fucking sent your son out with this guy. If his lies and half-truths are suffocating you, why would you send your son across the universe with him? I wouldn't send my son next door to someone whose lies and half-truths were suffocating me. This is bullshit. This is nonsense. Rogol's hate stabs into me. Zod's mania devastates me. I hate feeling this way in front of my son. I feel like a rock punching scene coming on, especially after all this time apart. We just can't float here and watch this part of the galaxy rip itself or my father apart. Look at this panel. Look at this. Rogolzar's fist, his fingers are is bigger than his arms. No. Stop. It's just the moment. Everyone's panicking. You see something. I've seen this before. I'm getting this weird sense of deja vu. It's almost if I read this in another Bendis book with Superman called Man of Steel, and it was part of this same exact freaking storyline. We're the House of El. We have this. Oh, and look who's here to save the day. The real hero of the story. That's right. The hero of Man of Steel, Supergirl. The girl that cucked Superman in his own book, saved the day when Superman couldn't, is back to save it again. Unbelievable. Now, you might say, Ash, you're overreacting. This is ridiculous. Like, Supergirl is part of... Yes, that's fine. The problem is I can't respect what's happening here because of what has already been done in the past and the bad faith that Bendis has built. In a better writer, maybe you could show Supergirl showing up and lending a hand and it would feel epic, like, oh yes, you're joining in the fight. But this feels just cheap. Superman, at every moment in this series, for 17 freaking issues now, has been getting beat, he's been getting cucked, he's been making the stupidest decisions for his kid and his wife. There's nothing good about Superman other than maybe he just sounds like a nice guy. He's an idiot superhero who makes dumb decisions, who needs Supergirl to come save him at every moment. I just hope she wipes the floor with Rogolzar while Superman just sits in a fetal position and cries. That's what I hope the next issue is going to be. This is retarded. People are saying, oh, this new book is good. In what universe is this comics writing that you want? This is fluff. Nothing even happens. It's just random nonsense. When I was in high school taking creative writing classes and stuff, There were shitty writers in my class that came up with better ideas than things like this. Look, I get Ivan Rice's art is amazing, and Bendis can write some dialogue at times. The beginning part of the book has Rogol Zar, lecturing to Zod, and it's really freaking cool. And it makes sense. Like, Zod's not a man of, moral standards or anything. So he's trying to get Zod to help him. And you can feel like Superman, of course, wouldn't take the bait, but Zod's not that guy. Zod might take the bait to help Rogol Zar. And it's interesting. And then once you leave that and you get back to Superman, it becomes all freaking stupid. I'm reading this book and I honestly feel like the writer, Brian Michael Bendis, hates Superman. I feel like he genuinely wanted to get on this book so he could turn Superman into something completely different, because the real Superman that we all know and love, that Tomasi and Jurgens gave us over the past couple of years, is one of the best. Just he's like, F that. We need to change him. That's what he's doing. He's making Lois completely different. He's fundamentally changed Superman, and he's fundamentally completely ruined Jonathan Kent. This book is garbage. I'm more angry at this than I am with the Wally West situation. It's retarded. I don't even want to say it's retarded over and over again. That's just silly. I know some people are going to like this book because they just love Bendis's little witty, Friends sitcom dialogue. But it's not, and it doesn't belong in this. And Superboy is an idiot, and these characters are all idiots. I really now hope Rogol Zar just destroys everybody. Rogol Zar in the beginning of this book makes a plea to Zod and says, "I'll tell you my story and why I destroyed Krypton and why you should have destroyed Krypton too." Well, I'm starting to understand through this. Now, Rogol Zar didn't elaborate. It's all like behind the scenes. So I don't know what Rogol Zar's real motivation is, because 17 issues later, Bendis still can't frickin' tell us. But I don't need to. Bendis is telling me. Bendis is convincing me. If I wish I was Rogol Zar, I would have destroyed Krypton too. Kill every mother frickin' last one of these stupid frickin' House of everyone. If you're a Kryptonian, die. Bendis has made me feel that way. It's retarded. Sorry. I didn't realize I was going to rant this hard. Stan, we wish you were still in comics and people were listening to you. This shit wouldn't happen. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you disagree with me, which I'm sure there's going to be quite a few of you watching. Oh, God, this is terrible. That disagree, I understand. I don't think if you like this book that you're a bad person or a stupid person, or that my tastes are more valid than yours. We all like what we like, right? I didn't do a review of it. I just finished Electric Warriors #6, and I didn't do a review of it because it's not worthy of the review. It's just not. But I enjoyed it. And so I thought about it for a while, and I was like, you know what? Sometimes you can just enjoy things that you admit or just aren't really good, but there's something about it that reaches out to you. Then maybe this book is for you. Maybe it's something you like it. That's fine. But if you're watching my video to get what I think, well, you have it. So I hope you got some value out of it. I hope you didn't find my rant too offensive. It's not attacking your identity. You can like it, and I respect you. I don't respect this book, and I don't respect Bendis. But I love dogs. Hey, Crypto. Oh, he looks savage. He's pissed off. He's like, damn you, Bendis. Thanks for watching. It's time for another JL8 webcomic, number 29, by Yale Stewart. I just don't understand how this could have happened. She called us young men, not boys. Why would the article say boys? She called us handsome, too. Stupid old bag. Hey, don't call her that. Please. She probably staged a robbery just to be able to go to the paper and call us boys. Why the heck would she do that? Defamation. Don't you see? If everyone thinks we're boys, no one will respect us. Criminals will grow more brazen. Bullies will laugh in our faces. Order will cease and chaos will rule. And the names they gave us. Batboy. How intimidating. Superboy. Ugh. Apparently, I'm the Green Nightlight.